English and then Italian, or both?
More strong. You can.
This is better? Okay. So I speak in English and then I'll translate in Italian for better understanding of people. First of all, I'm so sorry for the delay, but the center of Rome is always a bit tricky. But it's powerful to be here. It's powerful to be in the main center of Rome. It's powerful to be hosted by the Vatican in this holy space, but also controversial space. I will introduce myself. My name is Kwanza Dos Santos. No, I meant the church in general. My name is Kwanza Dos Santos. I'm Italian-Brazilian. I'm an activist. I'm a trainer, consultant. I deal with diversity in different shapes. And I'm also co-founder of the association Questa Roma, which is an association we created 12 years ago with a group of young Italians of color coming from different continents, not only the African continent. But yeah, I will start from my name. My name was given to me by my father, who's Afro-Brazilian, and for me it's very important because it was given to me to reconnect us with our roots, with our African roots as Brazilian descendant of enslaved Africans, mostly from Angola, Congo, and Nigeria, and Benin. And the name is very important, especially when we think about also the process of evangelization that was made to Africa. And one of the first things that was taken away was the name, right? The name, the family name. And because also of my family name, Dos Santos, I'm not able to reconnect to my roots, right? So I think it's an important aspect that we should take into account, because there are things that we cannot repair, right? When we talk about repair and restitution, there are things that we cannot repair, we cannot give back. But definitely trying to reconnect with our roots is something that we both have to demand to all the stakeholders that were involved in the slave trade and colonialism. But also from us, right? Individually, we have to try to reconnect with our roots. This is something that I'm doing, especially in the Brazilian sector, in the Brazilian context, because they managed to demonize Africa to the point that Black Brazilians don't define themselves as Afro-descendant, right? Because there's a big shame in defining themselves Afro-descendant. And this is because of this demonization of Africa. And still today, if we look at the mainstream media, there is still this demonization of Africa. So I think that the church, the Vatican, our fellows here can definitely help in this with their media outlets as well, the radio, the newspapers. I think it's one of the big responsibility of stakeholders that were involved and actively took part in the slave trade and colonialism and imperialism is to give back an image of the African continent with all its diversity, because we have to remember it's 54 countries, right? But we're still here to talk about Africa as one, as a monolithic entity, whereas we have way more in common as Europeans than Africans as Africans, right? Because of different history, different languages, different cultures, so many ethnicities, so much beauty and richness in diversity. And this must also be valued, because otherwise it contributes to building a single image of Africa as a whole, as all the same. As also Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie says, the danger of a single story, right? We're still telling a single story of Africa, and we're still hearing and seeing a single story of Africa. So I think that part of this restitution and reparation progress and program should be also focus on the image, right? The image, the media, the representation on the newspaper, but also on media, on audiovisual, on the movies, right? We still don't have, for example, movies from Nollywood. That is a big industry now, right? They're doing a lot of interesting movies, from comedy to romance to thriller to horror, and we still don't have any in our cinemas here in Rome, in the Vatican, in Italy in general. The only movies from Africa that arrive here are mostly done by white people who went there, did a documentary about probably some tragedy, and that's it, right? So we definitely need to put more effort on the image of Africa, because the image is also something that influence our mindset, right? It's not just an image, it's not just a movie, it's not just a photo. It's a symbol of what Africa is or could be in our minds and in our actions, right? So I think that this is a big part of what is also my job and what is the job of our association. We organize different type of events to try to reshape this image of Africa. As a matter of fact, we have a format called The Africa We Don't See on TV, right? Where we invite scholars, professionals, doctors, professors that people don't even know still today, 2025. It's not common for an average Italian to meet an African professor, right? From the university, from the hospital. So still also this professionality is still not valued enough. So I think this is very important, because I have also a lot of friends who have kids now. Some of them are Afro-descendant, and because of the images they don't see, they struggle to imagine themselves being something one day, right? Because of the skin color, because of the oppression and the discrimination they have to suffer in school, because the books don't talk about them, don't talk about also the positive image of Africa, don't talk about the history of African countries before colonialism, right? Don't talk about Mansa Musa, don't talk about a lot of emperors and empires who did amazing things. Don't talk about the fact that Sundiata Keita was in the Americas trading with the Americans long before the Europeans, right? But somehow the story always has to start and finish with the European. This is something that cannot be acceptable anymore in 2025, and this is something that I encourage all of us to focus on in our job, in our daily life, in our consumption of media that we do, that became part of our routine. So it's something, some challenge that I want to bring today. Thank you.